Christopher Spar with Sennheiser, and I'm here at Enhanced View Services in Miami to talk about the EW100 ENG system. Before I get into the components, a little bit about the Evolution Series wireless stuff. It's all made in the US. It's all backwards compatible, so we're on Generation 3 right now. Works with Generation 2 and Generation 1, and it's all metal construction, so the stuff is very, very durable for field use. What comes in the EW100 ENG box is belt pack transmitter, complete with omnidirectional condenser lavalier, camera mount receiver with the hot shoe clip on the back of it, SKP100 plug-on transmitter, which will make any wired mic wireless, any dynamic wired mic wireless. It will also plug into the back of a mixer for a wireless feed, for instance, and a couple of different output cables depending upon your input connections for your camera. So the entire system, it's a 42 megahertz switching bandwidth for the entire system. There's 3 different frequency ranges you can choose from. There's an A range, a B range, and a G range. So out of that 42 megahertz window, you get 1,680 different channels you can choose from, or different frequencies you can choose from. So a lot of selectivity to get you around interference or to use multiple channels in an environment. All the transmitters are 30 milliwatts, so the belt pack transmitter and the plug-on transmitter, 30 milliwatts, which is about 300 feet, line of sight, rough distance. So it's good for a long distance application if you're outside somewhere, for instance. A little bit about the specifics of the transmitters and the receivers. The receiver uses what we call adaptive diversity. So the adaptive diversity has one antenna here that also uses the secondary antenna, which is the output cable. So it turns that output cable into a second antenna for you, increasing your reception, hopefully. There is an easy scan function in the receiver to allow you to get a lot of channels set up, or just one channel, fairly easily actually. Go into the menus, turn easy scan on, let it find open frequencies for you. Once it's found the frequencies for you, you hold up your transmitter, has an infrared sync, they communicate the information to each other, both your systems are set up, your transmitter and your receiver, set up very quickly. Same thing with your plug-on transmitter, does the exact same sync using infrared. So after you do that easy scan, you'll actually find 20 banks of pre-coordinated intermodulation-free frequencies within the system, and it will tell you what bank and what channel is the best one to choose for this system. So within each of the 20 banks, there are 12 frequencies to choose from. Those frequencies are already guaranteed to be intermodulation free. They're not going to interfere with each other. So easy way to set up multiple channels, staying within the bank, use the channels that's pre-coordinated for you without having to do all the hard work yourself. This thing does the legwork for you. On the transmitter, on the belt pack transmitter, there is 2 different muting modes. There's an RF mute mode and an AF mute mode. The RF mute mode mutes the RF from transmitting. So it's easy to have one transmitter set up and a secondary transmitter as your backup, having them both on, having them both on the same frequency, but you RF mute one and you leave the other one unmuted, so that if you ever have to go to that secondary transmitter as your backup, you quickly mute the one you're having problems with, unmute the other one, they're all transmitting on the same frequency, nice and simple. AF mute is just an audio mute. It's just like turning the thing on or off, so audio is not sent whatsoever. So to get this operation on your camera, it's pretty simple. Hot shoe clip, right in the hot shoe mount, nice and easy. Tighten it down so it doesn't slide off. And then again, use whichever cable that we supply, whichever cable is good for your camera. So in this case, the XLR connector. Right in there, output from the receiver right there. So this cable goes right in between, nice and easy. And there's a convenient feature in the receiver called sound check mode. So what this will let you do is actually let this thing do an RF level record for you. So you can actually put this thing into record and walk the space that you're going to be doing the transmission in and see if you get any dropouts in your space. So you know if you're going too far away from your camera, you have to reduce the shot of the scene so you're not dropping out. This thing is kind of a secondary testing measure for you. Once you found a good frequency, then you do your walk test to make sure this thing is going to transmit the way you need it to. And one of the reasons this receiver works so well is because it's an adaptive diversity receiver. So when you talk about diversity, you're talking about using more than one antenna. And in this case, the receiver has its one main antenna, and it also uses the secondary audio output cable as a secondary antenna, so a true adaptive diversity. Gives you better reception, less chance of dropouts, just a better signal overall. And if you guys were listening to the video in the beginning, you probably heard me talking just from the microphone that's on the camera, and now I'm hooked up to the lavalier system. So you're going to hear a huge difference in sound quality. That's what Sennheiser Wireless brings to the table.